Hello. Let's see. We should be live. Uh, StreamYard says I'm live. Let's see if there we go. I'm making sure that YouTube is also showing live. And it looks like we are live from Arlington, New York. Arlington, Vermont. Hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. Let me pop out the chat here.
Are live.
Oops. And
from Arlington, New York. Arlington, Vermont.
All right. Hold on a second while I hit mute on that. Sorry about that. The computer is seemingly a little slow tonight. Hello there, Curly Express, or should I say Dwight. Thank you for showing up. I seem to be a little off tonight. All right, come on. What's wrong with the performance tonight? Okay, I'm seeing what I don't want to see, and that is the hard disk at 100%. That means if it's at 100%, that there is a possibility of all of a sudden getting kicked off. So hopefully that winds up going back down off 100%. It's hitting 90s. But, it's one of those things that it could happen on this. It's been interesting because it's been, I'm not sure why, but for the past couple of days, the hard drive hasn't been working pretty much at all, according to the task manager. And all of a sudden, it's just like massively being used. Ooh, it just took a dip down to 4%. Okay, I can cross fingers, eyes, and everything else, and hopefully things will go smoothly. This Christmas Eve doesn't seem very Christmassy because there's not a snowflake on the ground. And being in the Northeast United States, there's usually snow, at least on the week of Christmas. But it hasn't gotten there that much. So, I'm still wondering why YouTube is showing me fuzzy. Not quite sure, but it is what it is. So, Dwight and Kyle, what are your plans for tomorrow? I am not working. Last Friday was an optional work day for everybody else except for me and Paul, who's working and receiving. And it got to a point where he had all his stuff done by noon. I was still getting stuff done and all that. And I did wind up leaving 45 minutes early, basically after UPS had left. And you are working, Kyle. So where do you work, Kyle? I thank you very much. Layout in the loft. I'm not quite sure how many live streams there are going to be. I know Sparky's 107 is planning on something tomorrow. Security guard for a condo. Yes, that's one of the jobs that there's Sort of like along the lines of hospital personnel, police force. I think some railroad some railroad operations are re- require people to be still working. I think if I remember correctly, Amtrak was I applied for them decades ago, and they did say that excuse me, Christmas was one of the days that they did not get off. That and Thanksgiving. Yes, essential work. Yeah, it's one of those things of they're at the in 2020 there was all this thing about essential workers and all that, and then it seemed that 2021 it's sort of like brushed under the rug basically. So all right. My computer is a little bit happier now than it was when I started, so that's a good thing. But yeah, it's one of those things of I was planning on going to a Christmas dinner that normally was at a church that I was when I lived in Cohoes. It was in Albany, New York. When I lived in Cohoes, New York. But when I double checked on them, apparently the quote Christmas dinner was 2 weeks ago. So it's like, well, all right. So I might wind up doing along the lines of one of the major problems that I have right now is that I moved to Vermont just in late 2019. And was constantly working, and then when I got laid off, it's one of those things of, well, I got laid off, but everything was closed. So I have not been able to make a lot of friends in the area. I know my neighbors, and that's pretty much about it. But yeah, it's one of those things that just keep on keeping on, basically. But yeah, technically, my workplace is considered an essential business because we make medical mattresses and anything that has to do. Yeah, it is one of those things. If Christmas seems to be more for the kids, I know my father had that attitude that once we grew up, it's like Christmas was like, just another day. And that's how I start, being an adult, myself. That's how I'm starting to view Christmas. I don't even have a tree. However, I just ordered one from JP&S Trains, which is a rebirth of a hobby shop that I used to go to in Latham, New York. It is now in Eagle Mills, New York. So it's actually, I want to say 20 minutes closer now. So that is a good thing for me, I guess. It's basically I ordered one of the small little H.O. Bosch trees that has LEDs on it. So it's one of those things again, like, hey, you put up your Christmas tree. It's like just pull it out of the drawer, hook up a battery to it, and away we go. I was actually half tempted to. I actually wound up going to a hobby shop. That's an hour and a half away, which is Milepost Hobbies, and it's one of those things of I saw an N scale smaller Christmas tree layout, and it's like, put it under, put it underneath the Christmas tree, but I don't have a Christmas tree to put it under. Probably should maybe next year pull out my old 27 out, which I haven't had it run in years. But that's that's pretty much how it is and all that. That's interesting. Said 2, now 3 people who are watching, and it's one of those things of sometimes I've seen it where it says one person is watching, and I know that there's people talking in the chat, so I know not to really rely on how many people are in the chat, basically. But yeah, I guess I can continue what I was doing last week. Right now, I'm actually tempted to actually start throwing down some actual paint down for the base. So let me switch over cameras. And there we go. All right. Now I am sort of kind of contemplating things for next year and all that, as people usually do during this time of year. All right, first things I got to do first is sort of take off these edges. And we'll do that with this. See if I can position this right. Now, this wood is a little bit harder to cut, mainly because I got it from a cabinet maker. These are scrap cabinet pieces, and therefore a little hard to actually cut. Thinking about it, I should have probably done this before I glued everything together, but it's one of those things of hindsight is 2020. And then after cutting this, I'm going to have to turn around and put some more plaster over that. Sort of cover up the hole. This will be mostly in the back. What I'm contemplating as have it be in the back is unfortunately, I can't flip it over to cut more. Let's see if I can break this off. Might be a little bit too thick still. Let's see. Let's see if I can grab something. Let's see if I can. Actually, that was one thing I was looking at Mild Plus Hobbies was a small hammer, which would go fine right now. I mean, I know where I have a sledgehammer, but that's a 10-pound sledgehammer. Is a little bit overkill what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's unfortunately this being a hardwood, it's going to require a little bit more than that to come off. Hello there, Split Rock. Thank you for coming in. Getting to the capacity of the saw. If I hadn't glued this in, I could come this from the other side. But since I already have it glued, that's not happening. Gotta go as far as I can go. And if something breaks off, I'll sand off the bits that's there. Well, I would assume, it seems that lately the model train group has been tagging people. You know, they tag 3 people to say, you know, to, I guess, tag more people. And I'm assuming Split Rock is one of the ones that got tagged. Oh, that's interesting. It's breaking off in the opposite direction. Which, all right, that broke off. Now maybe I can turn around and get the rest of it off. It's not going to be perfect, but there we go. All right, that's taken care of. Now we'll put some plaster cloth across that. And we'll do it this way. All right. Of course, that's way up in everyone's face, but it is what it is. All right, that's full of water. And we'll cut that the way it is. All right. Do one for this side. Put that aside. Flip it over. And do one for this side. Oh, hello there, Joe Rader. Thank you for coming in. Basically, the idea is to sort of finish this up, get the plaster done, and then start preliminary painting the base. Oops, sorry, did not mean to hit the camera. All right, so get this watered. So how many people are going to be watching Sparky's live stream? There's a good chance I will, because right now not much. Right now it's my sister and I and her husband, and he's Jewish. She considers herself pagan, so technically you don't have to, do the Christmas thing with them. I already did the Thanksgiving stuff, which is the first time we've done that. We have sort of like, yeah, we should do this as an annual thing. So that's what we're planning on. All right, got that side done. All right, flip this over and do this side. This is the same technique of add water. You see, add the water first to the edges that actually grab onto something. And then grab the stuff that sort of like in the free air, just to have everything get all solidified. All right, now that that's done, out of the way, let's bring things out this direction. and drop things on the floor. Make sure that this doesn't. That moved a little. Let's move that back. All right, now from here we can get a little, start to go a little nuts, I guess. Finish that. All right, let's re-wet this. See if we can get it to sort of attach itself to the wood. If not, the paint will, theoretically, the paint will keep everything where it's supposed to be. All right, now for paint. The paint is a Regal Select. It's from RK Miles. This is a, I almost want to say probably a rejected paint because it was in their pile of their reject pile. Hello there, Rail Artist. Thank you for coming in. Well, at least, theoretically, having our family around makes a holiday go, well, quicker, faster. All right, so that is open, and let's basically start painting everything and sealing it. Now, Rail Artist, question I asked, is it both sides of the family or just one side? All right, put that there. Now for the bottom, basically the bottom paint, doesn't matter precisely what the color is, but it is probably a good idea to get close to what you want as a, I would say a ground color. Or the ground color that you're hoping for. Usually it's, obviously some kind of dirt. But whatever dirt color you're planning on, start with a very cheap off-color dirt color. That's close. I would have to say would be decently close to what you're aiming for, but not necessarily accurate. This is the basic because you're using the paint more as a sealer than an actual color. And And the thing is, since this is pretty much going to be covering everything, or everything is covering, all your details are going to be on top of it. It doesn't have to be matching in any way, because this is going to be all covered up. The only thing that's not going to be covered up on this particular model is the quote-unquote canal. So I will not be painting the canal. This right here is a little wet, so I'm going to actually stay away from that for now until that sort of dries. Just hers. All right. And yeah, I don't have a significant other, so there's not as much, I guess there's not as much joy, but also not as much drama, I guess. But also the paint also covers up all, starts covering up all the little holes that are in the plaster cloth. You don't have to get every single hole, because, as I said, other things will be covering over this. Like right here is the roadbed, so I don't have to go too nuts on that specific part. But probably good two coats would probably be good. The first coat obviously will get most of the holes, and then the second coat should pick up the rest. Also, you got seams here and all that, which eventually ground cover will cover that. Yeah. But as I think a lot of us earlier were talking about, it seems that Christmas is more for the kids than the adults. Well, I would have to say it's more for, I almost want to say, the secular kids, or maybe the more religious, the more, I guess, faithful adults probably will get more in Christmas, but it's usually not about the gifts at that point. It's more about devotion. All right, now to go on to this side. Let's see if I can bring this a little bit more closer to the center of Yeah, I got 15 minutes of watching me paint. I'm letting paint dry. Paint and plastic dry. That's why I don't think they do a lot of stuff like painting and stuff like that live, because it takes a while and it's a lot of repetitive yeah. A lot of doing the same thing over and over again. It seems that there's a lot of, I think more of the more popular channels they're not doing it, live stuff like this. It's all pre-recorded. But speaking of pre-recorded, that's one thing I probably should learn for next year, is do things that are pre-recorded. Basically, I need trying to figure out what the different camera angles for some of the other stuff that I have, because I got I guess the live set up pretty well, okay, but I haven't quite figured out the camera angles for. I did buy a lathe, so it's one of those things of I am wanting to figure out how to use that so I can re-gauge equipment. Hello there, Wigwag. Thank you for coming in. From my understanding, you got tagged for the Christmas challenge, I guess. I almost want to say by Artie, if I remember correctly. So everyone's doing like these very short videos saying Merry Christmas and all that, and that they were tagged by someone and have to turn around and tag 3 other people. Sort of like a version of the ice bucket challenge. But you don't have to worry about I forgot what it was. Remember, you had to do something, or if you didn't do that something, you had to do the ice bucket. I think I had to do a donation or something like that. It's a variation of that. Oh, hello there, Randall. Thank you for coming in. I have to say this paint is definitely thick, so that's might be the reason why it was rejected. This is supposed to be house paint, and it's definitely on the thick side. Of course, then again, it could be just laying around for that long. Of course, I'm probably barely on camera. Well, Merry Christmas to you and everybody else. Trainformer 1980. I do not. Oh, there we go. Thank you for coming in. I did not see you there. Sorry about that. My monitor's over that direction, so I'm concentrating here and not unfortunately keeping up onto the chat as which is what you're supposed to be doing. But yeah, you're trained for me. You've come here to watch me paint. It's not what you want to call the most exciting thing to do, but it is an important detail on making dioramas, and that's what this is. Basically, it's going to have a bridge going across the top here over a canal. Don't see. I usually don't see many layouts that have canals, so. And I think it was Boxcar Jerry that was saying something, and then that got me inspired to do something with a canal. Because I was doing all the other ones have just like streams and stuff like that, and but they were all quote unquote naturally made. So I think the idea was basically, hey, why not do a canal? And hence, where I work at, we have different, there's actually 6 companies there's our company and then there's 5 others that rent. And one of them is a cabinet maker. And this wood is part of their scrap bin. So the base I got from Hobby World in, I want to say, Lenox, Massachusetts. So 1 by 2 inch by 1/8 plywood. This looks mostly dry. You can put paint on it. It's not completely dry, but close enough for our purposes. Now, the reason why I'm doing a diorama is to basically, pun intended, to brush up on my skills on scenery. And that's what I'm pretty much doing right now. Longtime viewers will remember that I have done other bridge type modules, dioramas also. I've done one with a trestle, a normal bridge. The last one I did was, I did the cover bridge at the same time as the other bridges, but I had used a different base. And then what I did was recently just expanded on that base, so they're all the same size. The base that I'm using here is something that you would never, the average person does not have access to. And they are fabric holders, I guess they're called. Basically, they're pretty much scrap cardboard that's designed to hold fabric rolls. This is a relatively large one, which I think they would be about that size. Because where I'm at, we make mattresses. So we get rolls of fabric, and they come in, and usually in the usually with the cardboard, recycled cardboard setup, but we do every now and then get something that's maybe plastic or seems that one company is using a PVC pipe where they got it so it winds up they wind up taking the ends and squishing them to see the same effect, just to keep the rolls of fabric from rolling. All right, now on to this side. And tonight's Sidetrack Sunday will be, I believe, Rainbow Bells. If I remember correctly, this is actually not a live stream. It's pre-recorded, so it's going to be a premiere instead of a normal live stream because of the holidays. So I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. And next Sunday will be the last Sidetrack Sunday at Nissy's channel. This is sort of the unofficial Sidetrack Sunday pre-show. There's a lot more people on Sidetrack Sunday than here. I know there's one person that he apparently likes my live streams, but when I moved to this time slot, he's no longer able to participate. And that's Anthony Dodge, the Train Outsider. I used to watch Anthony Dodge's a lot, but with the drama at work and all that, I've just been too exhausted to turn on the computer on Fridays. And my normal work schedule is from 6 to 4:30, the half-hour lunch, Monday through Thursday. However, this month I've been also doing Fridays because my supervisor, who would do the Fridays, got himself fired on the 5th. So right now it's just me, and I'm training one guy to do my job while I try to figure out how to do my former supervisor's job. And it's been stressful, to say the least. All right, now technically this is still wet. But we'll do the best we can here. Oh, hello there, Blake H. Thank you for coming in. You come here to see a very boring video of somebody painting a diorama. This particular one, the challenge on this one is doing a man-made canal. The other ones I've done so far If you want to look back through them, they have a natural valley. This I've added a valley, and let's see. This should be dry enough for me to paint this side. All right, and this will have a railroad bridge across the top back here, with a what's called a covered truss bridge. I have done a normal bridge, and I've also done a trestle and a covered bridge, all by Hunter Line Limited. Not sponsored, but I seem to like them. And basically, with this one, once I get this up to a certain point, I'll actually start building the covered truss bridge. Now, a covered truss bridge, they're not as well known as a covered bridge. Whereas a covered bridge, the whole bridge is entirely covered, so it looks like a house. And it's very, and it's, you know, it's sort of like tied in with Vermont. In fact, there's two covered bridges that are literally less than 5 miles from my house. And if you go 20 miles, I think there's another 3. But yeah, usually you think of, you know, usually with Vermont, there's usually there's a covered bridge added to the mix. All right. Well, that looks like it's going to be done for tonight. I still have the ends to do, but I'll do them later because I don't think I can get the camera angle correct. But yeah, let me switch cameras again, which unfortunately will cause the camera to bounce, for those who don't know. All right. And one thing I would like to have StreamYard actually have a button so you can actually turn around and change cameras a lot easier than they are now. Because right now, it's sort of kind of not easy. You have to actually go to the settings and then change the camera that way. But you know, hopefully they fix that so you can pass between two and all that. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this evening. I'll probably pop over to Ray Bell's Sidetrack Sunday, or the Beauville and Newtown Railroad. But I guess that'll be it for tonight. So, as I usually say, I think the world needs more love. So, so find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Merry Christmas, everyone.